can get mantra and meditation tracks at JasonGallant.ca.
So I have good news. The Value of Truth, Arathi Ma's new book, is up on Kindle and on Amazon right now. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll provide the link right down below. You just click on Show More and there'll be a link, Arathi Ma's book. You can also get it on her website, arathima.com. Okay? So the great part about the book is that it talks about the value of truth, which means prosperity and enlightenment, and how all of this stuff factors together, you know? How do you access this true abundance inside, you know? And how does this manifest at some point outwards? And how do you go about doing this? And I speak about this process in many different ways on this channel. But the fact is that there are a lot of different techniques in the book that I have applied along the way. And it has everything to do with you identifying with the true place inside you and the movement outwards. So for those of you that are interested in going further in your enlightenment process, and for those of you that are interested in understanding the true nature of abundance and understanding how to bring that into your life, so you're not getting abundance, but then sacrificing your happiness for it, you know, that sort of thing. This book is a very valuable tool. For $5, it is invaluable for that price. So anyway, check it out if you feel so guided. Let me know what you think, and be sure you leave a review if you really like anything about it, and I'm sure Arathi Ma would appreciate it. So moving on, you know, I've been reading a lot of the comments lately, and I'm working with some of you quite extensively. Like I'm trying my best to return comments that are at least valid, you know. Like some people say, hey, I've got a pet squirrel and he runs up and down the stairs all the time. What do I do about that? And I'm like, these are types of comments that I'm not gonna, you know, respond to, right? There's nothing I can do with that. But there are certain people that are watching these videos regularly, and thank you very much for sharing them and spreading my messages and my work out there, you know. But the fact is, you're talking and you're doing the work and you're watching the videos and you're watching them over and over again and saying, okay, what is the true message? What is Jason really saying? How do I apply this in my life, you know? And every video is really speaking about the same truth, but coming from a different direction, okay? So I have one lady, and you know who you are, you'll know as soon as I speak about it. She's saying that she's having certain types of shame and guilt and disgust and things come up, these different types of experiences. And she's saying, what do I do about that? And ultimately, I know that she understands the message because she has applied the principles that I've talked about in all the other videos many times over. And I'm just saying to you and to her that the same principles will continue to apply as you go along this path, okay? You know, this is a sentence that you've got to remember, okay? There is no reasonable suffering, okay? There may be reasonable pain. There's pain. Life has pain. But for you to perpetuate it, it's never reasonable. Unless, of course, you're happy with that. If you're happy about it, then no problem, okay? Have fun with it. I'm okay with that. So it's very hard to be specific in these videos sometimes. But the fact is that if you have a certain type of suffering that's coming up, such as guilt, such as shame, such as disgust, these are all spiritual cleanses that come up when you unravel the ego, you know? If you continue to go back over them and think about why this is the right experience, why it's the wrong experience, you'll get caught in the constant cycle of thinking, which is the opposite of acceptance. Okay, so I keep speaking to you, accept, accept, accept. This does not mean thinking about a solution to you feeling something. It means you allow it to be there and you discipline yourself to no longer figure out how to deal with it. You allow the universe or your heart or the self to deal with it, you see? These experiences inside, I'm talking about your internal process, okay? I'm always speaking about when you're out of danger, you're out of a, you know, situation, whatever, but internally, if you are suffering, if you keep on coming up with this endless thinking about why this should be this way, why it should be that way, you are going to get caught in a cycle of suffering. So, that said, when you're chanting mantras and you're meditating, your suffering may come up. It may come up in many different forms. And then the thinking that also supported the suffering will also come up. Do you understand? The thinking will come up. So now your job is to accept the thinking, just to observe it, just to allow it to be there. Don't think about your thinking. Allow it to unravel on its own. It's like a string and a ball of yarn. It's unraveling and you're seeing just a big bunch of knots at first, okay? But just watch it, just observe, and just allow it to unravel. Don't try to fix it. Don't stick your fingers in there because it's like a blender, okay? Just allow it to be there. Take your allowing muscles. You're allowing discipline. Take that to the next level. Take your acceptance discipline to the next level. Take your observation discipline to the next level. And I'm saying this if you're suffering, because I always know there's a spiritual smartass out there that says, oh, what if, no, suffering's perfect too. Yeah, I get it. But who I'm speaking to are the people that are seeing that suffering is a problem, okay? So acceptance is that. Acceptance is saying, yes, there's no problem with a certain type of experience moving through you. That's what we call pain. When you start creating more of it, that's what we call suffering. When you're using that God self inside you, that power you have, when you're using that to create more suffering, that's when I step in and say, okay, you got to discipline yourself a little bit more. You got to watch, you know. You got to show yourself more self-love. You got to love yourself through all the judgments that the mind comes up. You got to love yourself through all of the ideas that you are not meeting, all the expectations that you're not meeting. Because your mind's coming up with a whole bunch of stuff that says, oh, you are deficient. You deserve to burn in hell, basically. You deserve to suffer. And this entire world has problems because people can't deal with their own suffering. They judge themselves so harshly, and then they say, okay, I'll never meet this expectation, so how can I basically make everybody else less so that way I can be better than them, okay? So know this, by you sitting with your suffering and being okay with yourself and loving yourself, you are healing the world. You are healing the world. If everybody thought like this, there would be nobody bombing anybody in Syria. There would be nobody doing any of this kind of crap. There would be no more violence because people wouldn't feel the need to suppress or to oppress because they are already free. When you're already free and you're already at the highest pinnacle of your internal experience, you will not feel the need to oppress or to harm anybody, okay? Except, of course, in survival circumstances where somebody's, you know, causing you some sort of danger, okay? So this is how you can serve the world, because I can feel sometimes people say, oh, my happiness is not enough. My happiness, oh, you know, I don't deserve to be happy. No, the world deserves for you to be happy. Do you understand? The world deserves it, because that's how you will serve the world. That's how you will help the world. A person full of love and happiness serves far better than a person that is in misery. A person in misery usually causes most of the damage, okay? So suffering begets more suffering. So I am cutting the head right off of this by going right to you and saying, let's discipline ourselves. Let's not believe that suffering. Let's not believe the thoughts that support it. Accept what is going on inside. Love yourself beyond what anybody else could. When you love yourself beyond what anybody else could and anybody else could ever do, okay, when you can love yourself beyond that, then from there, there's this beautiful power of love that will move through you, and then at some point it will manifest outward. But it must start with you, okay? So all this drama that goes on around you is all a big test of your own self-love. Can you love yourself through this? Okay? You deserve to love yourself through it, and you have to keep on disciplining yourself and keep on deciding to do that. You have to keep on using your free will to move in that direction. And you'll just have to trust me when I say this will save the world. You deserve to love yourself. And that will have the answer for everything. To love yourself, to love your experiences that are not so nice. Sometimes they're not so comfortable, but you love that too. That's you. You love all of it. And through that love transforms everything. Love is the weapon. But you must turn it on yourself first before it moves outwards. Otherwise, the love game that then goes on is something we call attachment. So I hope that helps. Take care for now. Thanks for supporting my work, and I also want to let you know I also have another YouTube channel called Jason Gallant Music, and there I will be uploading meditation and music tracks, and feel free to listen in, and you can also access those tracks on my website at JasonGallant.ca in case you want to download them for your iPhone or iPod or something like that. Okay? So thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.